Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having a Grand Fire Trine configuration in a natal chart. Now, a Grand Fire Trine is an astrological configuration or aspect pattern that consists of three planets or points or combination of both that have three trines and form a triangular formation. People, of course, they are in the fire signs, Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. People with this configuration may be exceptionally energetic, exuberant, expansive, can be somewhat maybe impulsive and impetuous, spontaneous, enthusiastic, and have good leadership qualities and attributes and much courage, valor, and fortitude. Now, let me show you, I'm going to go over to my computer monitor again, and we're going to look at somebody's chart that has a Grand Fire Trine and delineate it and show you by example how this could affect somebody in their natal chart as far as their natal chart goes and how it impacts them. So anyway, hold on momentarily, people, while I go over there. Alright, people, I'm sorry this is might be a little bit blurry, trying to get a good picture here, and I'm not quite getting it, but here we go. Maybe it's getting close. Now, trying to get the MC. Alright, people. When we look at this, I'm going to show you the 3 points of the Grand Fire Trine configuration in this particular chart. I'm going to have Pluto in Leo, and then that's the first house, and then we're going to go to Mercury in Sagittarius in the 5th, and then the MC. Yes, I do count the midheaven or MC. There's a lot of people that think they should just count planets in these configurations, but even though it's improper to beg, I beg to differ. Because the way I see this is that if you're going to include the ascendant, midheaven in major aspects, why are you not going to include them in aspect patterns? So that's how I see it. But anyway, the first placement, now we're going to look at Pluto and Leo. Now, this is generational, but can give a little influence and characteristics, can be very magnanimous, charitable, or I should say very generous, flamboyant, can put a lot of intensity into attention seeking, perhaps can be very creative. And we look at this and may seek notoriety and accolades, and being in the first house, this could really show through on a first impression of as far as this person goes. Now, go to Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury in Sagittarius can be very buoyant and philosophical in speech, may possibly even be somewhat prophetic, and can be very blunt and outspoken. Mercury in Sag generally doesn't mince words. Now, we're going to go to the MC in Aries, and Aries midheaven can show a lot of courage and valor in their career, can be somewhat impetuous and impulsive, may make decisions very abruptly, can be somewhat impatient regarding their career endeavors, but can show, even if not in a leadership position, perhaps this person can show leadership characteristics and attributes in their position and lead, for example, leading by example. And anyway, let's go to the first aspect of this Grand Fire Trine. And the first one is going to be Pluto in Leo, trine Mercury in Sagittarius. Now, Pluto trine Mercury is a position where one can see through the duplicity of others, perhaps any subterfuge, and really can have very good some penetrating insight. And when you have these this aspect. Now, with Mercury in Sag, this person, if somebody is lying to them, they can obviously be very blunt and outspoken regarding this, perhaps even almost tactless and lacking diplomacy, and will really come out and say this. And you have this Pluto intensity in the first house, so this could be something where it can be done in a very intense way as well. And now we're going to go to the next aspect. The next aspect in this trine configuration is going to be Mercury. Actually, I want to go back momentarily. I also wanted to touch up on this, is that this person was very enamored with astrology, and Mercury in Sagittarius can often maybe look at step 2 before they've even completed step 1, and this person one time in conversation, at least one time, was actually guessing someone's rising sign after they had felt that they guessed the sun sign, and try to guess their moon sign afterwards, and just kind of was going to the next step before the first step was really proven or validated. And I thought that was kind of funny, because Mercury in Sagittarius can kind of look ahead in things and go to step B before A is consummated or completed. And then you have this Pluto mixed in, which could show perhaps the fixation of astrology being in the first house of the personality. So I think that factored in here. And obviously, being in fire signs, was very outspoken and enthusiastic regarding this. And in this kind of communication, children can factor in, and this person may talk to the child regarding maybe things of this nature being in the 5th house. Now let's go to the next aspect. Mercury in Sagittarius trine the ascendant the Aries MC or midheaven. Now, this person can be able, perhaps strongly, to articulate what they want as far as their career endeavors and ambitions go, having obviously it's an auspicious and positive aspect, and may even could possibly do creative writing in connection with this, having Mercury in the 5th house of creativity. And this is something where this person can really have some strong enjoyment as far as perhaps talking about things that are career related, or things connected with perhaps getting their public, as far as maybe their public image, which, being an Aries, can be somebody that, despite having the ascendant in Cancer, which is somewhat passive, docile sign, the MC represents the public image, and this person can show perhaps a courageous and outspoken nature as far as how others may see them, as far as in the public, as far as the public perception can go. So that's as far as the trine from Mercury to the MC. But last but not least, we're going to look at the trine from the MC to Pluto. And this could be somebody that can go to, can be very resilient in terms of bouncing back from perhaps going from one career to another. If one doesn't work out, there is the ability to transform and regenerate in connection with career matters. And this could, and the fact that Pluto is making this aspect too, it could be something connected, maybe with like astrology, occult, supernatural subjects, some kind of police, forensic detective work, psychology or psychiatry, and this person can very well maybe even have transforming effect maybe on others that are connected with his or her career. So this is something to look at and really strongly consider when you're looking at as far as this aspect goes. And being Aries on the MC, these careers can be something connected with something Aries related, such as something with sports, competition, something with being that shows courage and fortitude, such as policemen, law enforcement, firefighting, And it could even, Aries is ruled by Mars, which rules metals, which can be something with, perhaps with construction. And those are things to look at when you're delineating this. So this is something thought was very interesting, despite having this passive Cancer energy, having the ascendant Saturn and Mars in Cancer. Well, Mars in the first house, that adds to a little bit more of a side that is a little bit more aggressive and assertive than your typical Cancerian ascendant anyway. So anyway, people, let me go back to my spot and we'll finish this up. So just hold on momentarily while I do that. Well, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for a Grand Fire Trine in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having a cardinal Grand Cross in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.